My name is Smith, and I was an Air Force veteran. I spent years serving my country, trained to survive, to fight, and to stay focused on the mission. Life was about discipline, strategy, and making it home in one piece. But what I never expected was to die. What if I told you that dying was just the beginning of my real mission? But wait. Before we begin, if you enjoy powerful life stories like this, let us know where you are watching from, and please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential videos. I never thought much about the afterlife. I wasn't the most religious man, and honestly, I believed that when death came, that was it, nothingness. But on the day I died, everything I believed was shattered. I remember the moment my body gave out. 1 second, I was here, and the next, I was floating above it all, watching as doctors and nurses frantically worked to bring me back. I should have been terrified, but instead, I felt something pulling me, guiding me toward a light that was more real than anything I had ever known. And that's when I saw him. Jesus. He didn't just welcome me, he had a message for me. A mission. He showed me things I never could have imagined, things that changed everything I thought I knew about life, death, and purpose. But the most shocking thing of all? He gave me something unexpected, something that would change my life forever. The power to heal. What happened next is something I need to share, because it might just change your life, too. I dedicated my life to the Air Force. The military shaped me, gave me purpose, and instilled in me a deep sense of discipline and duty. Every day was about precision, following orders, pushing my body and mind to the limits, and making sure my team made it back home safely. I saw things most people never have to see, lived through moments that tested me in ways I can't even put into words. But through it all, I kept my emotions locked away. That's what we were trained to do, push forward, no matter what. Faith was never really a part of my life. I wasn't hostile to religion, but I wasn't drawn to it either. I guess you could say I was skeptical. I saw too much darkness in the world, war, suffering, loss. I wondered, if there really was a God, why did he let all this happen? Why did good men die while others lived? I figured if there was something beyond this life, I'd deal with it when the time came. Until then, I focused on what I could see and control. But life after the military wasn't easy. The things I had seen, the things I had done, they didn't just disappear. I carried them with me. The weight of it all, friends lost, choices made in the heat of battle, it haunted me. Some nights, I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my heart racing as if I was still out there in the field. I didn't talk about it. I didn't want to seem weak. So, I buried it deep, trying to move on, trying to live a normal life. But my body and mind were worn down. Then, one day, everything changed. I remember the pain hitting me like a freight train. 1 minute, I was fine, and the next, it felt like my chest was being crushed from the inside. I could hear the distant sound of someone calling 911, but my vision blurred, my body went numb. As I collapsed, I knew I was dying. And that's when the world around me faded, and I stepped into something I never expected. At first, there was panic. I could hear muffled voices, feel the weight of my body collapsing, but I couldn't move. My heart pounded, then slowed, and suddenly, silence. A strange, eerie quietness. I expected fear, expected to fight for my last breath, but instead, a calmness washed over me. It was as if the pain, the struggle, everything I had been carrying for years, just disappeared. Then, I saw something that shook me to my core. I was looking down at myself. My body lay lifeless on the floor, paramedics rushing in, shouting commands, working desperately to bring me back. I saw everything in perfect detail, the panic in their eyes, the way my chest refused to rise with breath. But I wasn't in my body anymore. I was floating above it, weightless, free. It should have been terrifying, but it wasn't. I felt a pull, like something, or someone, was drawing me toward something greater. That's when I noticed it, a tunnel of light, stretching endlessly ahead of me. It wasn't just light, it was alive, pulsating with warmth, with love, with something I couldn't fully comprehend. It called to me, not with words, but with a feeling so deep, so powerful, that I knew I had to follow. The moment I entered, I was surrounded by something beyond words. Love. Not just any love, pure, unconditional, overwhelming love. It wrapped around me like a warm embrace, filling every empty space inside me, healing wounds I didn't even realize I had. For the first time in my life, I felt completely known, completely accepted. I wasn't just in the presence of something great, I was home. And that's when I saw him. He stood before me, more real than anything I had ever known. Jesus. His presence was overwhelming, not in a way that made me afraid, but in a way that made everything else fade into insignificance. His eyes, they weren't just looking at me, they were looking through me, seeing every part of me, every mistake, every regret, every hidden wound. But there was no condemnation in them. Only love. A love so deep, so pure, that it brought me to my knees. I was standing before the Son of God. In that moment, every question I ever had, every doubt, every fear, it all disappeared. I didn't need an explanation. I knew the truth. He was the truth. And as I stood there, he showed me my life, not in flashes, not in judgment, but in truth. I saw the moments I had turned away, the times I had chosen pride over grace, the years I had spent believing I was in control. But I also saw the unseen moments, the ones I had forgotten, the kindness I had shown, the lives I had touched without realizing it. I understood then that nothing had been wasted. Every battle, every struggle, every tear, it had all been leading me here. Then he spoke. His voice wasn't just heard, it was felt, resonating deep within my soul. I am sending you back. I didn't understand. Why? How could I leave this place, this peace? But then he said something that changed everything. You will be my vessel of healing. And suddenly, I saw it. Visions of the future unfolded before me, people in pain, people suffering, and then, my hands touching them. Not with my own power, but with his. I saw sickness vanish, wounds close, broken hearts restored. It wasn't about me. It was about him working through me. Then, just as quickly as it began, it was over. The light faded, the warmth pulled away, and before I could even comprehend what was happening, I was falling. Back into my body. Back into the world. Back to fulfill the mission he had given me. I gasped for air like a drowning man breaking the surface. My chest burned, my body ached, and the beeping of hospital machines filled my ears. I was back. Disoriented, confused, but something inside me had changed. I wasn't just alive, I was different. The memory of his presence, his words, the mission, you will be my vessel of healing, it was all still fresh in my mind. Doctors and nurses rushed in, amazed that I had come back. They said I had flatlined. That I should be dead. But I wasn't. I had been sent back. And I was about to find out why. The first sign came sooner than I expected. A nurse was adjusting my fall, wincing as she moved her wrist. I could see the pain in her face. Without thinking, I reached out and lightly touched her arm. The moment my fingers made contact, a warmth flooded through me, and in an instant, she froze. Her eyes widened, and she flexed her wrist, turning it over, twisting it. Then she looked at me, her mouth open in shock. The pain, it's gone. I didn't know what to say. Had that really just happened? Had I just healed her? Doubt crept in. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe it wasn't real. But it was real. And it kept happening. At first, I struggled to accept it. Who was I to have this kind of power? I was just a soldier, a man who had spent his life relying on discipline, not miracles. And what would people think? Would they believe me, or would they call me crazy? The doubt, the fear, it almost made me walk away. Almost. But then I remembered his eyes, his voice, his promise. You will be my vessel of healing. So, I stepped out in faith. And when I did, I saw it. A man who had suffered years of chronic pain, suddenly standing tall and pain-free. A child whose illness had doctors baffled, restored in an instant. Wounds closing, sickness lifting, lives changing, right in front of my eyes. Not because of me, but because of him working through me. And that's when I finally understood. This wasn't about my past. It wasn't about my fears. It was about obedience. It was about stepping into the mission Jesus had given me. And as I embraced it, I saw miracles unfold, again and again. Everything I experienced, everything I was shown, it wasn't just for me. Jesus didn't send me back just to live a second chance at life. He sent me back with a message. A message for you. Faith isn't just a word. It's not just something people talk about in church on Sundays. It's real. It moves mountains. It heals. It transforms. And the power of God? It wasn't just for the people in the Bible. It's here. Now. I've seen it. I've lived it. And I know, without a doubt, that Jesus is still healing, still saving, still calling people to him. But the question is, are you listening? Jesus also showed me something else, something that shook me to my core. He let me see what's coming. There's a darkness rising in this world. A time is approaching when people will be forced to choose, fear or faith, the world or the truth. and many will be deceived. Many will walk away from him, not realizing that they are walking into destruction. But those who hold on, those who trust him, those who stand firm in their faith, they will see miracles like never before. And that's why I'm telling you this now. You don't have to die to experience God's love. You don't have to wait until your last breath to know him. He's calling you right now. He's reaching out to you in this moment, waiting for you to turn to him. All you have to do is say yes. If my story has spoken to you, if you believe that God is still moving today, let me know in the comments. Have you ever experienced his power? Have you seen his hand in your life? I want to hear your testimony. And if you haven't yet, but you're ready to open your heart to him, let me know. I want to pray for you. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. There are more stories, more testimonies, more proof that Jesus is alive and working today. And I promise you, you don't want to miss what's coming next.